When we finished up last time, we had these ugly pictures here, and I just couldn't. And as I was doing the lesson, I'm thinking that doesn't look right. Why does that happen? So let's go back into the code and see what our issues are. We have 300 by 200 pictures 300 by 200 pictures. The problem is it is a width of 300 and a height of 200. So I mix these two up. Well, they don't have to be in any order. They just have to be the right number. So we're going to change this to 200 and change this to a 300, and then do that for each one of them as we go down. So there, it's going to be a width of 200 and a height of 300 and a height of 200 and a width of 3. So that should fix all these issues. All right, so that's all the pictures now have been correct. Let's do File and Save, and let's go back and take a look and see if that fixed everything. And refresh. Okay, so now they're looking a little bit better. The only problem is that there's nothing keeping them from being right on top of each other. So what we need to do is we have to add some space in between those pictures. So let's go ahead and into our HTML. And what we're just going to do is, here's where this is one row, this is second row. What we want to do is at the end of the first row, or between the two rows, we'll just go ahead and add a div. And we'll call this okay, we'll call it div dot row underscore margin. Okay, we have to be careful. You don't want to call it something that is already in Bootstrap, and there's nothing like that in Bootstrap. So hit tab. So now we've created a physical space. This is a block item. So now we need to go in and take this class and add some properties to it. So I'm going to copy what I have. Then I'm going to go into my sandwich shop styles, and then after this navigation bar, I'm going to put dot and then paste, and then I'm going to add a property, and the property that I'm going to do is margin. And the margin is going to be, let's see, let's make it, we want to do it responsive. So let's do 3%. See how that turns out. Not 3 number. 3% and 0. So the 0 is for left and right. We don't want to put any margins on those, but we want to do up and down. So we'll do File, Save All to make sure we save both the HTML and the CSS that we've changed. And then we'll go and refresh. And there's our spacing. Nice. All right, so let's go in and finish up the other parts of it. One thing we do is like to have is a nice rounded, round these pictures off so they're not so harsh. So if we go into Bootstrap and go down in the CSS to Images section, we have a image shapes that we can do. And here are the image shapes. So we can do rounded, a circle, or thumbnail. We did a circle already up on the top, but we want to do this as just around the edges. Make it a little more softer. All right, so we're going to go ahead and copy that. And let's go in and change the image property. All right, so here are our images. So here's sandwich 1. Let's do this one. We already have a class of column medium 6. So inside this quote, we'll go ahead and paste in the other property that we want to use also, which is image rounded. Right, and then we'll go ahead and File and Save. And let's go back and refresh. And nothing happens. If we inspect the image, we find that the reason why the properties of that rounded does not work as well here, and that's because really the picture is hidden by some border on all the sides. because of that. So what we're going to do is we're going to modify that class. So let's go into our code. We'll go into our CSS, and we'll go ahead and create, we'll do a dot, then Control V, because we're image rounded. And what we're going to do is we're going to leave all the default properties of that, the border and everything else. And then all we're going to do now is we'll do a border radius. And the border radius, let's make it 10%. That should show up nicely. All right, then we'll do File and Save. And of course, File and Save. And then we'll go back and refresh the page. And there they are. Nice. So now all I have to do is change that for the rest of our images. So let's go back and into our code. And all we have to now do is that image rounding. It should be already in Clipboard, but I'm not sure. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this. Go ahead and copy that with the space. Control C. And then all I have to do is go inside. Actually, I shouldn't do space. Control V. Control V. Control V. Okay, let's get rid of this extra space. Won't make a difference, but let's do File and Save, and then refresh. Nice. Now they're all rounded. Very good. And if we have more time, we'd make these clickable so they would go down below to the larger picture. But let's press on now. We also have this gallery up here should have the same style as more sandwiches. So that let's go back, and that's a pretty quick fix. So if we go up in our code, we can see that we have more sandwiches right here. And what we want to do is I'm going to use the same class. So let's go ahead and copy this. Okay, so the BG info is going to make the color, and then a text center is just going to move it into the center. So we're using actually two classes for this. And let's go down and find our gallery. All right, so there's our gallery. This is our H2 for the gallery. And we'll put a space and then paste it in. All right, then it should look the same. So we'll do File and Save. And we'll come back and refresh. Nice. All right, that's looking like it's a pretty nice looking page, I think. All right, so let's go ahead and move on. And next thing we'll do is go ahead and put a footer at the bottom of the page.